the 2025 NFL Draft, the NFL selects Green Bay, Wisconsin.
This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance.
The Green Bay Packers select.
The Green Bay Packers select.
The Green Bay Packers select.
Now broadcasting from the backyard of Lambeau Field in Green Bay, alongside Jim Rutledge, here's Alex Stroh.
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. And Alex Stroh with you live once again from the Tundra Trio in Green Bay as we get ready for day 2 of 3 of the 2025 NFL Draft here at Lambeau Field. Alongside, as always, my buddy from Mr. Irrelevant, Jim David Chewy. Joshy DiMaggio's back in the flesh. What's up, Joshy?
Feeling good. Recuperating, getting back into it. It was a big day yesterday, a fun day.
Big day.
We were talking everywhere we could, walking everywhere we could. We stayed in the same house together last night.
We did, yeah.
We had a little slumber party. It was a great night.
I accidentally wore the wrong shoes this morning. Have I told you this yet?
I heard you wore one of the people in marketing shoes.
Yeah, because I thought those were the shoes I was wearing, but I was actually wearing different shoes last night. Also with me, he is the host of Jim, Matt, and Molly, weekdays from 4 to 6 on ESPN Madison. He is ESPN Wisconsin's, well, one of two we have on the program today, resident Bears fan. He is our buddy Jim Rutledge. Always good to see Jim Rutledge during draft season. What's up, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you up here in Green Bay. It's not often I make my way past the reverse Mason-Dixon line in the state of Wisconsin, but you know what? To hang out with you guys and be up here for the draft for today, I'm in. I'm excited. So thanks for having me.
Of course. And, you know, you weren't up here yesterday, as you mentioned, so this is kind of your first time seeing everything going on. I'm not sure if you were able to make any laps, but what are your early takeaways here for the NFL draft in Green Bay?
Well, looking from afar yesterday, this is very much, and I would imagine if you were able to crunch the numbers, probably the most regional or, like, local draft. It feels like most of the people here are Wisconsin natives, you know, and it makes sense. It is a statewide team, and you can pull from all over the state, and, you know, it's tough to fly into. How much do you really care about the draft if you're down in Florida to come up to Green Bay? So I did see a lot of strong Wisconsin representation. I think the city's doing a great job. The one thing I find weird, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this, every time I come up here, you know, obviously Green Bay has this small-town charm, and they love it. Each passing year, and I always joke about the chain restaurant capital of the world, which is Green Bay, but with each passing year, with more and more things that are built in to be around the Packers and be more corporate, it runs the danger, and it's far away, of being less and less what it prides itself on being on, with the $100 parking and all these other breweries and other things, all these businesses opening up, that it truly is kind of becoming like a Disneyland for football fans, but then that kind of negates some of the charm of Green Bay. It's not there yet, but every time I come up here, there's just more and more houses that have been turned into tailgating houses.
Yeah.
And you see that around, like, beachfront property. And, look, to be honest, in Wisconsin, Lambeau Field is beachfront property.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed a big shift here, especially just at Lambeau Field, and how different the stadium looks for even 5 years ago. And there's certainly expansion happening here, but, I mean, it is just becoming a mecca of it. The good thing is, and what makes this unique is, even though a lot of these houses are becoming like corporate houses and they have like the fancy garages where you can see through them, like those neighborhoods are still going to stay there because those people aren't selling their houses.
Right.
Like
yes.
they, as much as the Packers and Mark Murphy want to buy all this land so they can expand even farther, there's no amount that would be enough for those people to sell it away because it is such an attraction. So I think unless we start seeing skyscrapers start popping up here, we are going to be able to keep some of that neighborhoodly and let's be honest, it's a little less podunk than it was just 10 years ago.
Yes, and that's a more direct way to say it.
Yes.
But, again, that was the charm. It's like, oh, little old Green Bay. It's no longer little old Green Bay.
No.
Everyone around here is making bank off everything that comes up here.
Oh, yeah.
And it is no longer like, oh, shucks, thanks for visiting our city. It's
business.
like, let me extort as much money out of you as humanly possible. To the detriment this year, because I was told someone was trying to rent their place for like $15,000 a night.
Yeah.
They got down to $2,000. You know, there were you know, hotels that were trying to, you know, sell it out, and they had empty rooms up until like 2 nights ago. So, you know, they got their money, but it wasn't quite exactly what they were expecting. But I think Green Bay as a whole represented itself well. The way in, the way out, nice and easy. It looked great yesterday. And
I only walked past one pile of vomit this morning.
There you go.
Not bad.
Yeah. Hey, high standards.
Yeah. Not bad for the 4-block walk I took this morning. So, It's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. Alex Strofe, Jim Rutledge, Josh DiMaggio hanging out with you live from the Tundra Trio in Green Bay. Eric Genrich, who is the mayor of Green Bay, was here on Thursday morning. And
where we are?
Yeah, where we are. He was with our guys, Vinny and Eric from 620 WTMJ. And I was talking to him off the air a little bit, and he said, yeah, we're looking at like 250, 300,000 people in total. Yeah. Yesterday, admitted only. This is only people that went into the event. 205,000 people on night one of the NFL draft, which is just bonkers. And I hope was it the Lions president, Joshie, that was talking all that smack earlier this week? Hope he eats crow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to get to, what was it, 750,000 in Detroit? No. I don't think we're going to get there, but it seems like weather is going to play a part here because there's a lot of walking involved with your draft experience. So if you're coming up here, make sure to bring walking shoes, plenty of water, all that fun stuff. It's going to go well over. I'm thinking by the end of the week, it might be 400,000 people between today and tomorrow when you put it all together. So I'm expecting probably 200,000 more throughout the weekend.
So how do they track that? Because I thought the number overall would be 300. Like, how many is just people returning? Because if you are up here, you're going to come back for a couple of days as opposed to new people coming
Well, you have to scan tickets. So
okay.
I would imagine just scan tickets.
So they have that One Pass app that is getting you into the actual location. So they have a unique – every time someone scans in, it's admitting them via the way to get in there. So there's a way to track how many people were there specifically, and that's how they did it so easily.
So what did Detroit – because I saw a lot of Wisconsinites in their fields, and I was like, I haven't seen any straw man arguments that, like, people weren't going to show up. Yeah, it's not going to be Detroit. It's not going to be if Chicago had – you can't. You don't want that.
You can't.
It would be a disaster.
I have a confession here, and some people might like this. Wisconsin people are sensitive about being viewed as a backwater, as not as up to snuff. I didn't take big offense to it. Like, Detroit's a bigger city. Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
It's one of the
But I also did think – I didn't see anyone out there saying people weren't going to come to the draft here. It cannot hold the amount of people that Detroit could hold.
Right.
There was also, like, people getting upset about Greeny with the almond milk. It's like, let's not get in our feels, because when you go, like, what do you call people from Chicago? Fibs? When you go to New York, you're going to be like, oh, I can't get my cheese curds here. So, like, you do it when you go somewhere else. Don't be mad when someone comes here and does the same thing.
I haven't – I mean, the Cam Ward thing of there's nothing to do here, I can't wait to get out of here, I understand it, but he's not – he knew he was going to be a Titan.
I had former Badgers from Wisconsin tell me that they necessarily wouldn't have come up here for the draft, even though they're from here.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, and not in this draft, but other ones. It's fine though. They don't have to be here.
This isn't even the time of year.
No.
Where we tell people to come here.
Right. Yes.
If someone asks me, I say, I don't know, July, August,
maybe September if you want to hit a game. That's about it.
But here's where it matters: coming here for the draft. And NFL experiences, amazing.
Yes.
It's it is a mecca for sports fans. And if you're a player playing here, absolutely. But I would fault no player for the second the season ends to fly out of Green Bay. But when they play here, they're embraced by the fans. They love the fans. And during football season, it's amazing, and that's all that matters.
Well, last night we saw somebody embraced by the fans. That is the first wide receiver the Packers have drafted in the first round since Javon Walker in 2002. As Texas wideout Matthew Golden, the newest Green Bay Packer. What an epic moment, Jim. I'm sure you saw this. And even as a Bears fan, I know you can admit this is cool. He gets drafted. He's here in the city he gets drafted to, and he steals the mic from the commissioner as he walks across the stage and gives a little pep talk to the Green Bay fans. I just don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like that. I think it's going to become like one of those super memorable, epic draft moments.
Yeah, it was really special for Green Bay. Again, I would say the whole city outside of maybe Clay Matthews to start the whole thing. Everything about this was like high class. Look, Packer fans were quiet with the McMichael and Walter Payton stuff. It was respectful, the chants and all. So, like, again, the whole city being welcoming and representing was fantastic. Mark Murphy, I thought, did a really good job.
He should pursue a career in stand-up after retirement.
But the thing is, as we joked about on our air and we kind of teased you about, Mark Murphy had said the exact same thing, like on a tailgate tour, to every single person. So he's got one act. He's Dane Cook. He's got one. He's got one thing. But for a little bit, he might be able to ride it out a little bit. But he was great. And then, it capped off with the golden pick, which I think is one little fan service, but also a need. And then also it looks like a good prospect you can be excited about. And then, his personality coming through and owning it. And I saw your intro. It gets a little bit in the feels for me, but the golden on the back of the Packers. Meanwhile, they're green and yellow. But regardless, that was all part of cool. I believe that's – if you look to my right, I see there's cheese heads and Packer helmets, and those are both the same shade of yellow. Unless you think cheese is gold-colored.
A good cheese might be gold.
A good cheese might be. That's a good point by Joshy. Matthew Golden told me his favorite type of cheese is Kraft Singles, so we got to work on that. I don't know if you guys saw that when I talked to him the other day.
Well, he played at Texas in Houston. Is he from Texas? Because I would imagine there's not a lot of options.
Probably not, but you could do better than Kraft Singles.
No, Mike,
that's not even real cheese.
I'm pretty sure my kids, unless they went to a friend's house, have never actually had a Kraft Single. Like, you just get like this sharp cheddar from the generic sharp cheddar you can get from
Here's
anywhere.
the thing, and I'll stand by this as well, Wisconsinite. A Kraft Single on a grilled cheese, the best way to have it. It is the only way to have. I'll never consume it in any other fashion than when I don't want to make myself a meal here. I'm going to quickly put together a grilled cheese. Kraft Singles are the way to go.
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, which is presented by American Family Insurance. Coming up next, we get the inside scoop on all things Matthew Golden and what to expect in day 2 of the NFL Draft. Is Ian Fitzsimmons from Amber and Ian on ESPN Radio and NFL Draft coverage on ESPN Radio will join us here in Green Bay. Ian Fitzsimmons is next. It's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week on ESPN Wisconsin and the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app.
More coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. It doesn't matter if it's your first betting slip ever or just the first one of the week. We've got your Potawatomi sportsbook picks covered. Tune in Wednesdays to The Weekly Wager with Greg Matzek, Ben Brust, and Jen Latta.
If someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything, you take it.
The Weekly Wager, Wednesday nights at 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wilby? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Okay. No drafts. Got it. There's more than one draft?
No, but Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products stand the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 4/30/2025.
Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill, and it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitboss-grills.com.
Draft week is here, and whether you're watching every pick or just there for the party, Higher Love has everything you need to elevate your draft experience. As the best in the Midwest, Higher Love offers the largest selection of organic, clean, green, certified products at unbeatable value, making them the can't-miss top pick. Higher Love Menominee, just an hour from Green Bay, right across the Wisconsin border. Find them at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
The hottest takes.
What % chance do you actually think the Packers will draft a wide receiver in the first round?
75.
Without pumping the brakes.
Wow.
75%.
No, you're just stupid. Greg just gave us a compliment how he likes our show, and then we lose credibility when you say things like that.
Kyle Brust and Nortman. Afternoons from 2 to 5 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. All the antics.
Well, I think passwords are stupid.
I've got literally a note that's password protective of Chewy's the passwords I've helped him set.
All the action.
Oh, yes. We're cursed as a Wisconsin sports fan base.
No, you're
Turn
not
on
cursed.
your TV and watch the damn greatness in front of your nose.
The best of both worlds lives right here. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Don't miss a second of ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. Download the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app today and stay on top of it all.
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance, rolls on live from the Tundra Trio in Green Bay, just outside of Lambeau Field, as we gear up for Day 2, rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL Draft. Alex Strofe, Jim Rutledge, Joshy DiMaggio hanging out with you. Excited to be joined now by Ian Fitzsimmons from NFL Draft coverage on ESPN Radio. Every pick, every round live, presented by ZipRecruiter, GNC, and American Family Insurance. Ian Fitzsimmons from ESPN Radio's Amber and Ian. Ian, how is Green Bay treating you so far despite the crappy weather we have today? Have you gotten your beer? Have you gotten your cheese curds? We all geared up and ready for Day 2?
Man, I love coming here, and I've only had the privilege of calling one game here many years ago when my brother was an assistant coach for the Detroit Lions. So 2 kids from Folsom, Louisiana, population 800 people, one calling an NFL game, the other coaching in it. It was probably my most memorable moment in calling NFL games. But coming back, man, I love it. It's got a college atmosphere to it. And I don't give a damn about the weather. You know, you can't control that. It's been a remarkable experience. I've had a blast. And, I mean, over 200,000 people last night, guys. I mean, the draft has become one of those events now that you go ahead and pencil in on our sports calendar as one of those major events where the great games of college and pro football collide. And, you know, you go back to Philly and then – you know, I think Nashville really took it to a whole other level where it became this block party, and you saw it again last night. I mean, it was awesome, just absolutely spectacular. So Green Bay, you know, I mean, Wisconsin, take a bow. It's been tremendous.
We're taking a metaphorical bow for you, Ian, as it has been a total blast. Matthew Golden, the new Green Bay Packer, the wide receiver out of Texas. Ian, obviously a really cool moment for him as he was obviously in Green Bay, got to celebrate with the fans a little bit. You just said you love him. Tell us what the Packers are getting in Matthew Golden.
I talked to several coaches at Texas earlier this week, and one of them said when you are able to come in from an air raid system that he played in Houston and acclimate immediately to Steve Sarkisian's pro-style offense in Texas and not miss a beat, that goes to show you what the scouts and GMs call, you know, FBI, football intelligence, and he's got it. And not only is he wicked smart, but he plays the dude next to him, and he's a burner, as you guys know. He can take the top off of defense, runs every route on the tree. He's just your team guy. But the most impressive thing to me is how he was able, again, to come in from a catch-and-throw offense like Houston and just get immediately Sark's offense, which is very difficult to do. It's a complex offense, and he got it from day one. So I think you're getting a complete wide receiver, Green Bay, and get ready, man, because that dude, he can fly, and I do mean fly. And in this division, you're going to need it.
The draft yesterday was a lot of different things happening, and some players slipped, and I kind of wanted to get your opinion on which one of these players most likely to get picked today or maybe even slide more for different reasons. Obviously, Shedeur Sanders, but then there's Mike Green with off-the-field issues from Marshall, and then Will Johnson, who I love, and as a Bears fan, I was terrified the Packers are going to pick him, but, like, he's got a lot of, I guess, injury concerns. What are your thoughts where those guys go today?
I'm more concerned about your safety announcing again that you're a Bears fan and you're right there next to Lambeau. You all right?
Yeah.
You be good?
I've been doing this for 17 years up here. Everyone knows at this point I'm a Bears fan.
I get it, man. Look, there are certain guys that like, let's start with Sanders, right? Mike Tannenbaum brought this up, our resident general manager, and his knowledge is immense. But it was a telltale sign before the draft began when he told us in our pre-draft meeting, the Sanders family told the NFL Network and ESPN, no cameras. When was the last time you heard the Sanders family saying no cameras, right? I mean, come on. So that was the telltale sign that they've got an inkling that, hey, if he doesn't go at 21 at that backstop, he's going in the second round unless someone trades back up to get him, which didn't happen. So that was number one. I wouldn't say expected it, but once the Steelers took Derek Harmon out of Oregon, it was like, okay, he ain't getting drafted in the first round. Now to Will Johnson, I'm with you, man. I was on the call for the national championship game 2 years ago. Will Johnson was close to being the best player on the field. Now he had some medical issues, right? So you look at Jahad Campbell from Alabama with that shoulder. That's why he fell so far in the first round. Every NFL GM, every NFL scout I talked to had a top 12 to 15 grade on Campbell out of Alabama. Well, the shoulder the medical had him fall late, and I think he's going to be fine. Same thing with Will Johnson. It's more medical than anything else. And some people are talking about his 40 time and he didn't run. And the late great Gil Brandt, legendary scout for the Dallas Cowboys, once told me, always beware of a defensive back or wide receiver who doesn't run the 40. Well, Will Johnson didn't run the 40. So is that scaring some teams off? I don't know. I think it's more medical than anything else. But to your point, I agree with you. Will Johnson was one of those guys coming into this past season, the 2024 college football campaign, and into the draft that everyone had as a surefire first-round pick. Somebody might be getting a steal in the second.
Hey, Ian, what do you think was the biggest non-Shedeur Sanders storyline from yesterday? We saw a couple trades. We saw the Atlanta obviously move up there and include a first-round pick. What do you think was the biggest thing that happened yesterday in the draft?
I'd say Jacksonville and Cleveland. That was a monster haul Cleveland got. And it felt like an owner-type move, right, in trade, where Shad Khan goes, hey, we're trying to build a new stadium. We got to invigorate a fan base. Let's move heaven and earth to go get this unbelievable talent that is Travis Hunter. But in return, Cleveland got a haul, guys, and they got Mason Graham. And if they want Shedeur Sanders, if they like him, they have the number one overall pick tonight, right? Yep. So you can get the best player on your board and the quarterback. So I thought Cleveland made out like bandits last night. And then you mentioned the Atlanta trade. Moving up 20 spots to get James Pierce Jr., two general managers, active GMs, told me they had him in the proverbial box. For people who don't know what that means, when a player is undraftable, meaning character issues or any red flag, they'll put him in literally a red box around his name on their draft board, which means we ain't taking him no matter what. And James Pierce was in several red boxes for NFL teams. And for Atlanta to go and move up 20 spots to take that guy, who's, look, his production, when he's on the field, man, he comes off the edge like with his hair on fire. And I wouldn't look at even the 8 sacks, right, this last year. Rodney Gardner, the D-line coach at Tennessee, has a 12-man rotation up front on D-linemen alone. So he was going more rest and fury, right, over reps, and they all bought into it. But off the field, James Pierce Jr. has got some serious character issues, and that's why that was the most stunning move last night, is Atlanta going up 20 spots to go and drafting him after moving up 20 spots.
Getting educated by Ian Fitzsimmons from NFL Draft coverage on ESPN. Radio coverage tonight, including rounds 2 and 3, starts at 5 p.m. Central on ESPN Radio. Ian, Ted McMillan, one of the receivers in this draft, the second drafted behind Travis Hunter, went higher than I think we expected. And obviously, as Packers fans, we were kind of sitting here waiting to see if a receiver would fall to them at 23. Ultimately, we know what happened with Matthew Golden. But Ted McMillan at 8 to Carolina seemed earlier than a lot of people anticipated. Was that a surprising pick there at that spot for you?
It was. And his comp to me is Drake London. Drake London, for people who don't remember, the Atlanta Falcons wide receiver and former first-round pick out of USC, also played basketball at USC. He averaged like 26 and 13, guys, as one of the best high school basketball players in the state of California. And you guys know what kind of talent they have on the hardwood out there in California. I mean, it's impressive. But Drake told me when he was coming out for the draft that going up and fighting for rebounds made him a better wide receiver when it comes to 50-50 balls. With Ted McMillan, you know what his favorite sport is? Volleyball. Oh. He's a hell of a volleyball player. So when you're going up for blocks and spikes, right, you're also having to elevate and go fight for it. And that's why when you watch him play at Arizona, especially 2 years ago, I mean, my gosh, 50-50 balls are more like 70-30 in his favor. because of that volleyball background. He hates to lose any rep. He never takes a play off. I'm a big Tetna Millen guy, but I agree with you. I thought that he would be going more in the late teens, early 20s than in the top 10.
I host a show in Madison. I got to ask some Badger-related questions. It's been a while since the Badgers have had top-of-the-draft prospects, but Hunter Wooler, Jack Nelson, and Jake Renfro are all three guys who I think will be drafted. Out of those three, which one is kind of your favorite as far as having a successful NFL career?
Man, just go pick your best player available with those three guys. Yeah, and look, Wisconsin has put out so many, especially defensive dudes, right? I mean, we don't have enough time to sit here and go down the steals that have been found, right? Chenal with Kansas City, Herbig with the Steelers. I mean, going down the list, right? I don't give a damn if you're undersized. I don't care what you run your 40 time in or what your shuttle is. When you turn on the tape of Wisconsin Badger, especially on the defensive side or on the offensive line, right? You're getting a boy dog warrior. And I'm a big Luke Fickell guy. Good. So Badger fans, give him time. I'm telling you, he will bring a winner here. That dude refuses to lose. Look what he did at Cincinnati, taking them to the college football playoff. So, give him. I get the feeling that some of the natives are starting to get a little restless.
I would say that's accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, Fickell, don't lose. Just give him time. This NIL portal war we're living in sucks. Yeah. But when it comes to the three guys you mentioned, when it comes to where they're going to land, they're the kind of guys like best player available. If they're there, take them.
Ian Fitzsimmons, Amber and Ian on ESPN Radio, and NFL draft coverage on ESPN Radio beginning tonight at 5 Central on ESPN Radio, presented by ZipRecruiter GNC and our friends at American Family Insurance. Ian, hope you get the opportunity to tip a few back and enjoy the rest of the weekend here in Green Bay, all right? Thanks for the time.
We will be heading to the casino after the draft tomorrow. I promise you, right? I'll give the fine people here in the state of Wisconsin some of my hard-earned money, and it's been a blast, guys. It has been an absolute privilege to be here. And again, tip of the cap. It is the hospitality, the food, the people, everything. It's been awesome. Well done.
Midwest Nice gets down to Florida with Ian Fitzsimmons from Amber and Ian on ESPN.
Come on with it.
I love it, man. Love it. Alex Strofe, Jim Rutledge, Josh DiMaggio hanging out with the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. We'll dive a little bit deeper into Matthew Golden, the new Green Bay Packer, coming up next. Also, before we wrap up at 2 o'clock, we're going to have to talk Bears. We're going to have to talk NFC North because Rutledge is here. We're going to have to argue about it as they take not the best tight end on the board, according to most people, but we'll get to that at some point.
50-50.
I'm already under skin, Joshy. Here we go.
I believe, was it Ian Rappaport said that Loveland caused the most amount of movement in the draft because teams were trying to get up and get in front of Chicago for him.
I believe I did see that as well.
I would say the NFL seemed like it.
I was choosing to ignore that detail, if you don't mind.
I know, but I got to keep your fans informed. I got to keep the fans of the show informed.
All right, fair enough. We talk Matthew Golden more coming up next. It's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance.
More coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at Copperod King Milwaukee, Root River Center Franklin, Stenny's Lake Country Pewaukee, Distillery Richfield, and Kelly's Bleachers Milwaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. For a limited time, enjoy exclusive seasonal rates starting at $139. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. Dr. Nausheen Abbas joined the Holtebeck Eye Center team last September, and her practice philosophy is to provide patient-centered medicine by giving all options. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Did you hear that? That's the sound of me earning rewards on all the purchases I make with Educators Credit Union's debit card. Whether I'm buying groceries, putting gas in my car, or knocking down pins at the bowling alley, I can earn major rewards points. I can redeem my points for cash back, gift cards, concert tickets, travel experiences, and a whole lot more. Join Educators Credit Union and start earning today at ECU.com. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required.
Draft season is all about big decisions.
Green Bay is now on the clock.
And your future is no different. Whether you're just getting started, balancing work and life, or coming back to finish your degree, Lakeland University gives you the flexibility to do it your way. Evening, online, and hybrid courses. Credit for work experience. Education that fits your life. Experience it your way. Learn more at lakeland.edu/draft.
Hey, it's Brad Nortman, and I've got to tell you about my go-to car wash, Tsunami Express. Get your ride looking its best and ride the wave at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for that perfect shine. Sign up for a monthly membership and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 a day. Skip the wait with the fast lane and take advantage of great perks. With locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Mount Pleasant, Tsunami Express has you covered. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Visit TsunamiExpress.com to learn more.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Don't miss a second of ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. Download the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app today and stay on top of it all.
It's time, baby. Hey, I'm finna bring that energy, man. I'm glad to be here. It's a blessing. Green Bay on 3. Hey, let me get a Green Bay on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's the newest member of the Packers, Matthew Golden, last night, hijacking the microphone on the draft stage here in Green Bay. We're going to give him some time. Yeah, we're going to give him some time. It's Go Pack Go, not Green Bay on 3, but we give him applause for the effort nonetheless.
I mean, we've all been there. You get out over your skis, you're fired up, and you realize you don't really have what you're looking for, so you go Green Bay on 3.
Green Bay on 3. 1, 2, 3. Green Bay. Thanks, Josh. Thanks for participating.
I did that on purpose.
Yep. Leave me on an island as you always do. Very good. Alex Strofe, Josh DiMaggio, Jim Rutledge hanging out with you at the Tundra Trio in Green Bay ahead of day 2 of the NFL Draft. Rainy Green Bay right now. Should clear up a bit later once the festivities really get underway. But it's coming down out there, Josh. You just took a little lap. You dry? You good?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's a little chilly. I was debating bringing the long johns. Would have been a wise move this morning. But once you get moving, and it is going to get warmer as the day goes on and the rain stops, we'll be good. And the little rain never killed you.
Little rain never killed you. Matthew Golden, 4.29 40-yard dash. He ran the fastest 40 at the NFL Combine this year. That's what the Packers acquire, a guy that can take the top off a little bit of the defense, plays all over in terms of wide receiver. Matthew Golden last night after being drafted on his TV interview. Let's hear what Matthew Golden had to say on TV. Not when he hijacked the mic, but when he was actually given a microphone to tell everybody what the Packers are getting. And new Texas wide receiver, new Green Bay Packers wide receiver, Matthew Golden.
What is it like to stand here in front of all these Packers fans?
Man, it's a blessing. I put in so much work to get here. And I got my family here, man. It means the most to me, man. I can't thank God enough.
At Texas, you stepped up big when the lights were brightest. How will you do that here in Green Bay?
that's what you should expect from me, man. I'm a reliable target, and I get open anywhere on the field, man. Whatever the team need me to do, that's what I'm willing to do. But I'm bringing that dog mentality, know that.
All right, welcome home.
Thank you.
Bringing that dog mentality. Jim, if you have to point out you're bringing that dog mentality, you're bringing that dog mentality?
I think in this scenario you can.
Okay.
You just say the stuff.
Yeah.
Just say the stuff.
In post game, if he's saying it, you got a little concerned. But right now, you're just throwing out platitudes to the fans. Look, he seems really fun. I think he'll endear himself to the fans. His speed is elite, and so honestly, it's just a matter of how LaFleur can unlock him. I'm also interested that Jordan Love, watching him last year, he's not like a quick get the ball out guy, which with Reed, maybe that affected his development. And same here with Golden, like getting the ball in their hands as fast as possible and letting them run is what you want. Because Jordan Love's deep balls, just when you picture them, they're 50-50 balls to bigger receivers. Reed and I think Golden can go do that. But again, I want to see how LaFleur can maximize getting more out of Love to get what these guys can do. Because I honestly picture, like, you want Love to be Jared Goff of, like, just get it in the, in Goff's situation, St. Brown's hand and go. If you're the Packers, like, Love, just get it out of your hands into Reed and Golden and let them run.
Our friend Justice Mosqueda did a cut-up of Matthew Golden. This was as a draft preview. And interestingly enough, based on the Texas quarterbacking, there is a lot of Matthew Golden outrunning the defense and then having to come back and fight for the ball because Quinn Ewers was underthrowing it.
There you go.
And as Packer fans, we watched that all throughout the season of, well, that guy's open, but it's a little underthrown, and the ball was probably more competitive than it needed to be. I also don't want to sell short Matthew Golden in terms of he wins at all levels. He is capable of working the short, intermediate, and long. He's not as good as a deep, like pure deep receiver, but obviously that speed is going to give you opportunities to work downfield. I think the Greg Jennings comp, obviously he's a lot faster, more athletic, but I think that's the style the Packers envision with him. He's been comped to a professional comp of Chris Olave, which I think is – and Olave, he came in with a lot of hoopla, obviously being from Ohio State, but if you look at how he's performed, he's not a top 10 receiver by any means, but he's useful, and he helps in offense, and with the right people around a guy like Chris Olave, or in this case Matthew Golden, it can really open opportunities not only for him but the other players around him. He's a great chess piece that I think they're probably going to use as a deep threat to start the year, and then we'll see him getting mixed in as a true wide receiver as he develops throughout the course of the year.
Matt Miller has a comp of Garrett Wilson, and my critique was more of Jordan Love than of Golden.
Yes,
because I do think Golden and Reed are more capable than maybe we give him credit for.
Slant route, let him go.
Well, and also in year one, Jordan Love, he was much better on, and it almost seemed like he was feeling himself a little bit, but like year one, Jordan Love, you run the play action, the guy's open, let it rip, and not look like he's talked about with Golden being open on levels. All right, if Golden's open 10 yards down the field, let it rip because he can take it all the way to the house. You don't have to hold it, and then try to bomb.
If you remember, before that second half breakout in Jordan Love's first year starter, Matt LaFleur said that, let it rip. Just throw it, man.
Let it rip.
Like, just let it go. Get it to your guys and trust them. And we understood with context why he maybe didn't trust those, but at some point it's either they catch it or they're in the right, you just have to leave it up to them.
I think to both of your points, this is just another, additive to Jordan Love is not going to have excuses anymore.
Yep.
Right? They've invested in the offensive line this offseason. They now brought in another wide receiver who likely will make an impact right away here in the 2025 season. If it's not clicking for Jordan Love, all of a sudden it's going to be, ooh, did we really sign him to that contract? But I'm confident he can take that next step and be a little bit more consistent than he was a year ago dealing with all those injuries and whatnots.
A guy like this will help. I do think, and I've said this forever with Jordan Love, the best thing the Packers can do is realize that, and this isn't a knock because Jared Goff has played in a Super Bowl and gotten to 2 NFC Championship games, he might be more Jared Goff than he is Aaron Rodgers, where
I think most people are.
Right, exactly. I'm of the belief that there's like 3 elite QBs at the most, and then everyone else you got to maximize, but the best teams realize the Packers got to figure out how to make the play action work better because of obviously Jordan Love and the shotgun and Jacobs and running that. So maybe they have to do more under center, more 12 personnel when you have Musgrave and Kraft. And then if you have Golden, like more from LaFleur and less from Love. Back to like Because Love basically has 6 games on record where you go, this is how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
And then the rest of the games have been like, he's like most quarterbacks where he can make some great plays, but he makes a lot of stupid plays, and it's very much up in the air what's going to happen. You want him to be – he doesn't even have to be what he – because if you look at the stats, he was still like – he had a couple elite games, but otherwise he was like 2 touchdowns, no picks, 66% completion percentage, 200 yards. You can win a lot of football games
say, you'll take
that.
Yeah, you'll take that every day of the week. And you know, I think the big word I used last offseason for Love was just consistency, right? I wanted to see it on a consistent basis. Now, I don't think the various injuries he battled throughout the year last year were any help by any means, but he wasn't as consistent as I would have liked to see. Now, still a good quarterback. I still have faith in him as the franchise quarterback of the Packers. Obviously, this move yesterday is an encouraging sign that they're gonna cut this offense loose a little bit, even without Christian Watson in the front half of the season. And I think that's a prime opportunity for Jordan Love to take that step and put himself in the names of some of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League.
Well, and again, when I go to Jordan Love, I just look at it that I think a lot of these QBs, and sometimes a guy like Brock Purdy has it easier because he never thought he could be that dude.
Right. Yeah, good point.
And Sam Darnold had to get humbled, and now he fits and runs his offense. I think Jordan Love, if he can just understand that I need to be that dude like 1 or 2 throws a game, and otherwise just take the layups. And again, I'm an expert in back quarterback play, but what I'm talking about, like that's the same thing I say about Caleb Williams, but he's a rookie.
Yeah.
And he needed to understand just take the layups. When Jordan Love has been in the league, he's his 6th year as a starter now, like he has to take the layups, or otherwise this is who he is, where he's just going to make some boneheaded throws. I think he can learn to take the layups, and a guy like Golden can make those layups more obvious because he's so fast and he can get open that Jordan should hopefully feel more comfortable to let it rip.
Yeah, I feel like you have 2 game breakers at receiver if they continue to evolve and grow, and I think Matthew Golden can be one of those guys. Reed, to your point, Jimmy, I think is the other one, and obviously that's kind of been my guy the last few years, and he fell off a cliff last year after a nice start in the first half of the season and kind of had a disappearing act in the second half of the season, but hopefully with another layer in terms of another receiver that does a little bit different things, he can really find that next step in year 3.
To Josh's point about layers to the offense, though, Golden going over the top should open things up for Tucker Kraft.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, you have to respect Golden over the top, and then you have Reed maybe at that second level, and then that shorter, in that shorter intermediate route, you have Kraft, and all of a sudden you can do a lot of things.
I'm pretty excited about this Packers offense. I can't lie to you. Can't lie to you. As long as Love takes that, as long as he's consistent, takes a little bit of a step, but you feel good about the pieces around him, and obviously Josh Jacobs in the backfield coming off for a really nice season in year 1 in Green Bay. So I'm very excited about this offense. Got to admit it, Josh.
You just got to have Love become accurate, which he hasn't been his whole career, including in college.
Inconsistently, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think you need week in and week out a great Jordan Love to be a really successful football team. You just need to have a head coach who's calling the right plays, and I have all the faith in the world in Matt LaFleur. It seemed like whatever happened last year was partially his fault, but also the circumstances of we can't trust our quarterback right now. He's been erratic. Everyone knows we want to run, so there's really no fooling anybody, and we're trying to run a play-action scheme that we're really unfamiliar with because we didn't expect to be running an offense this way. So what it does is opens up options. It is going to be interesting to see how Jane Reed figures into the offense with Matthew Golden, because Matthew Golden's the type of guy you want outside, you want inside, you want him moving all around, whereas those other guys last year pretty much had defined roles.
So real quick, let me ask you this, because obviously this is something we've talked about 3 times a week on Mr. Irrelevant for the last 3 months, it feels like, in terms of receiver in the first round. When you look at the Packers depth chart, and I know it's hard to prognosticate, a day after the first round of the NFL draft, but do you look at it and go, yeah, Matthew Golden checks the box for a number 1 receiver?
That's when you draft somebody at 23 and you draft an ex-receiver traditional style like he is, that's what they envision him as. They put the capital into a guy at 23. It's not to be a 50% of snaps guy. He will be to start his career because that's what it's being a rookie, but they view him as a guy they don't want to take off the field other than he needs a blow. Like they want him to be sort of that chess piece. They want him to be a Greg Jennings, a Jordy Nelson, where you're keeping him on the field. He's moving across the formation.
Yeah.
Teams don't know when it's going to be his play per se. It's just going to, everyone had really defined roles for the Packers last year, and Jaden Reed played in 2 receiver sets less than 10% of the time. That's just a guy that when he's on the field, well, there's a slot. Here's how we defend him because he's not great against man coverage. When you move those people around and now it's, Matthew Golden's in the slot, Dontavian Wicks on the other side, and eventually Christian Watson, we've got a whole different option. And then you figure in the tight ends with, Luke Musgrave is also their vertical threat. He was the fastest guy at camp 2 years ago.
Right.
Well, and that's a good point as far as, and again, I'm an expert in bad offenses, and LaFleur, I don't think it was a bad offense, but you kind of could figure out what, based on the personnel that's in there, you made it easier to guess what they're going to do. And the best offenses, and this offense specifically at its best, is disguised. Again, I think you're going to see a lot of 12 this year.
Yes.
And I think you're going to see Musgrave and you're going to see Kraft together and then hand off to Jacobs. So my other question, we can talk about it on the other side with this draft. I don't know what you think of Marshawn Lloyd, but you can't just assume he's going to be good.
Totally.
I think a running back to be a complement to Jacobs, maybe a future replacement, maybe not, but Jacobs, to count on him year in and year out to be this guy is a lot. I mean, he's still a career yards per carry guy. He's not elite at that. He's more of a grinder. So if you could get a home run threat in this draft, this is a draft that looks deep. What was it? Is it Caleb Johnson from Iowa? Could be a good complement.
Didn't test that well, but yes.
He looks explosive and runs in an offense I think would work like this. Obviously, both Ohio State running backs probably be off the board, but there are backs. There's Neal from Kansas. I just think there's some backs out there for the Packers that could open up this offense. You can't just roll into this with Lloyd as your 2.
I've had 2 takes, Jim, for about 2 months. It was people should really start thinking about the Packers taking a wide receiver in the first round, and I will not be surprised if the Packers draft a running back higher than you expect because Jacobs' contract is one that you can find yourself moving on from. We have no idea what Marshawn Lloyd is. I'm by no means out on him.
Right.
But you can't go, he'll just be a feature back in 2 years because they didn't see him play at all. So to add to that position, and I think they signaled this when they drafted A.J. Dillon in the second round, which was way too early and a bad pick at the time. They want more than one running back, and they want him touching the ball 10-plus times a game.
Yeah. Right. And again, to your point, Golden, he is the not just this year replacement for Christian Watson. This is spelling the end of Christian Watson with the Packers.
Yes.
If you draft a running back in the next couple of rounds, you have to always be looking for the short and long term.
Yes.
Jacobs is a running back with a lot. I said this before. When they acquired him last year, he had more touches in his career in a shorter window than Aaron Jones did his entire career. So you have to plan.
The Raiders.
Right, but but think about how nasty those, how worn out he could be. You have to plan for the future, and a pick could help you at running back this year and in the future.
We will get into day 2 wants and needs for Green Bay in the 1 o'clock hour. But coming up next, what could happen in day 2? When Homer left our ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night coverage last night, the very last thing he said is Mark Murphy still talking? Well, the answer is yes. We will hear from Mark Murphy, who was on the Up and Adams show with Kay Adams earlier today, and he made a bold prediction. And I'm telling you, bold prediction. We will hear from the president and CEO of the Packers, Mark Murphy. Coming up next, Jim Rutledge, Alex Strofe, Josh DiMaggio with you. It is ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
Biz Expo is May 13th at Brookfield Conference Center. Spend the day at the kickoff keynote event on resilient leadership, thriving and enduring in challenging times, and make connections with customers and other business leaders. Learn from the experts at the strategy seminars on topics focused on technology and innovation, business growth, leadership, and manufacturing solutions. Biz Expo is Tuesday, May 13th. Register now to attend. Biz Expo is May 13th. Go to biztimes.com/bizexpo.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
A Blaine's Farm and Fleet original story.
Why is everyone coming on their riding mowers and UTVs?
I figured all the neighbors could use a break from yard work, so I invited them for a
ride-on lawnmower movie?
Or, as I like to say, a movie.
We've got the value you need to do things your way, like a free $10 gift card for rewards members with an $80 estate fertilizer purchase, and Blaine's Golden Harvest Bird Food $12.99. Rewards members save an extra buck. Blaine's Farm and Fleet, being original.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. The IRS has you in their crosshairs. We are local and know how to deal with the IRS and state to solve your situation. Just the other week, we successfully removed the target on Nick to get $194,358 of taxes and penalties removed. This is why I started Right Choice Tax Resolution, to help people fight the IRS and state. You don't know the ins and outs of all the taxes they can charge you or the more than 150 penalties they can impose on you. Make the right choice and call us at 844-222-1192. We want to help so your bank account doesn't get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security garnished, or a lien put on your house. Get rid of that stress and get back to enjoying life. The situation won't go away if you do nothing. Call us at 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us right now to book a meeting.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Serious truck crash? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
Don't miss a second of ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. Download the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app today and stay on top of it all.
For the first time since 2002, draft a wide receiver. Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas.
I love the chuckle at the end there from Mark Murphy as he fires up the crowd in Green Bay last night, announcing the draft pick of Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden. ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week presented by American Family Insurance. Alex Stroke, Josh DiMaggio, Jim Rutledge hanging out with you. And, Mark Murphy owned the spotlight last night, Jimmy, right? Really took in the moment, took his opportunity to speak about bringing the draft to Green Bay, and then the cherry on top, the Packers drafting a wide receiver in the first round. He's so funny, man.
Like, on his way out, I guess I'm not a Packers fan, but on the way out, he just seems like the harmless old guy.
Yes,
like,
he does.
Yes, he does. Sometimes it's like in normal times, like a president on their way out, you're like, oh, they're just going to get that grace. They'll walk away.
Kick
and they'll
your
be
feet
like,
up.
Hey, you know what? Whatever we felt about you, it doesn't matter anymore. And I think it's the same thing with Murphy of, like, on the way out, everyone's like, yeah, you know what? Have your fun. The weight of the world's off your shoulders, and have a little fun. This last little, goodbye for Murphy, which is a heck of a run from a business sense.
Totally.
In charge, and a good run from a football sense.
Good run. Yeah, obviously only the one Super Bowl, but from a business perspective, you said it at the top of the hour, right? The development around Lambeau Field and ultimately bringing the draft tiers is kind of a final thing, right? The final sayonara, bringing the draft here to Green Bay. Now, Mark Murphy joined Kay Adams on Up and Adams today, and he just kind of unprompted gave a bold prediction for the remainder of the draft. Take a listen to this back and forth with Kay Adams and Mark Murphy on Up and Adams.
Give us one thing that maybe we can, as we shut it down here, one thing we can look forward to today, tomorrow, that's yet to come. Brad Paisley concert tomorrow? Get
Brad
out
Paisley
of here.
on Saturday, yeah.
How about that?
I predict we will trade up once and down twice.
The Packers?
Yes. No.
What are we? What is, you? I was getting you in trouble with the Jair Instagram.
History says that we're.
Oh, okay. He's looking at. She's just like. Give us one thing.
He is in his full-on, as I said before, presidential George Bush painting pictures era. Like, he's like, I'm just going to be an artist now, and I'm just going to be a prognosticator. Like, I'm a personality. Mark Murphy. He's going to be. Who would have thought out of that team, it's Mark Murphy who's going to be the TV star, not like Aaron Rodgers or someone else.
Yeah, right. Not the head coach who's incredibly handsome. It's Mark Murphy, who is seemingly every time he gets a microphone in his hand, he says something he probably shouldn't.
For somebody who's gotten so much done, so many big business deals, getting the draft to Green Bay, what do you think a meeting is like with that man, where like the stakes are serious and there's like serious investments being talked about? Because he's got to be doing bits then. He's addicted to bits.
Yeah.
He's addicted to bits.
Well, I mean, honestly, you're right. I mean, that's who he is. And it's just going to be one of those guys where, like, how does this happen? But it just works. I think, here's the thing. I would say from a sales or business perspective, I think he's so endearing and disarming.
Yes.
That you feel like you can trust him.
Yeah.
And I think his actions, I think most businesses work with him. So, like, all right, I can trust him. So it's more of like, hey, with these big deals going on, it's like, I trust this guy. He's a goofball. Maybe he's not the titan of industry, but I feel like I can trust him, and that's disarming, and I think that's what works for him.
He is just hilarious. What's more likely for him, a media career or a stand-up comedy career after retirement?
I have a sneaking suspicion he's going to find himself in front of a lot of microphones, be it on TV or doing speaking engagements. I don't think the forced retirement from Mark Murphy is going to be we no longer hear from or see Mark Murphy. The Matt LaFleur press conference, he spoke for a half hour before getting
to the guy he hired.
Yes. I'm sure speaking engagements. He's going to be on those tours.
Yeah.
He's going to
book.
Yes, he's going to make his rounds.
He's got his golf course. He's got to promote.
Yes, it's going to be a full-fledged Mark Murphy for basically as long as he can.
He's something special, man. I want the Joshy and Murphy show.
I don't know how that would go.
I don't either. Because you don't like bits very much.
No.
You're not a bit guy like he is, addicted to bits.
Yeah, and just the corny jokes.
He's perfect for like you said, the speaker tour.
Yes.
The circuit.
Yeah.
He'll tell the same, because here's where he's not good is like ad-lib.
Yes.
So like he's going to tell, again, the tailgate tour, he gave the same damn answer to every question, even if it wasn't specifically asked to him throughout. He had like a script, and it was fine, and it played the hits. And to Packer fans especially, to have him come out and play the hits, say the same damn thing over and over again, they're gonna eat it up. Let me tell you about how Brett Favre's situation helped me with Aaron Rodgers' situation, and he's a complicated fella, and he'll just knock that out over and over again.
Remember when he showed up to the WIAA girls basketball tournament up the street here at the Resch Center? It was something about Rodgers. They were looking to trade him, right? Like he confirmed that during a halftime interview on the WIAA state basketball tournament.
Where else would you do it?
Yeah, right. That's the correct time and place.
Right. I can tell you one thing. There is a PR and communications department that, as much as I'm sure they love Mark Murphy, has a big sigh of relief as he heads towards retirement, because they don't have to do the cleanup of all the things Mark decided to say on his own.
Alex, I don't know if it was like this when you interviewed Murphy, but when we did it, there was two Packer people, they were around. Very close. I don't know what would have happened if he said something that they didn't like. They were going to tackle
the
him.
mic or what?
But I didn't know, but they were very close to him and listening the entire time.
Oh, yeah. They'd like to hear what you're asking, what he's answering with, but he gave you the old what would he say? I didn't tell Brian Gutekunst he couldn't trade out. Yeah.
My favorite part is I do a show with Matt Hamilton, Olympic gold medalist, and Matt, Packer fan, but also oblivious. Like he thought that was like news, and I was like, Matt, he said that 3 times this week, and the joke was made earlier, but whatever.
You know what? Let the golden retriever be a golden retriever.
Yes,
and that's what
gold medalist, golden retriever.
Indeed. From Jim, Matt, and Molly, Jim Rutledge with us, Joshie DiMaggio, Alex Strofe hanging out with you, Will Summers producing the show for us this afternoon. As we get into the 1 o'clock hour, I do want to talk needs and wants in the second round. Also, local wood artist Ike Winter will join us sometime in the 1 o'clock hour to talk about all 32 NFL logos he designed that are hanging in the walkway here at the NFL Draft. So if you saw a prospect walked down that tunnel, you saw all of Ike's woodwork.
Travis Hunter
slapped the Jaguar.
Banged on it as he walked by.
Yeah. So we will catch up with Ike Winter at some point in the 1 o'clock hour as well. And also, I have a Joshy related what we learned he has no idea about.
I got bad news because of the live production we're putting on here for our great fans. I won't be here for that, so maybe you could do an early edition shortly after 1:30.
Okay. I'll spoil it for you early.
Thank you.
And what we learned, presented by Door County Distillery. All still ahead. It's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance.
Have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins yet? Because if you haven't, you're missing out on technology that changes how you think about shoes. First, these are not just regular slip-on shoes. They're not just a pair of loafers without laces. But what makes them different is the technology inside that lets you just step into them. There's a built-in hidden shoehorn that slides your foot in, so they look, feel, and wear just like a pair of shoes you're used to. Except you don't have to bend down, struggle to put them on, or touch them. Try them at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
It's Macy's Friends and Family Sale. Hurry in for insider deals on must-have spring styles from your favorite brands, like an extra 30% off new dresses, handbags, and accessories from Karl Lagerfeld Paris, Donna Karan New York, Avec La Vie, and more. Plus, get 15% off fragrances, beauty, and skincare, too. It's not only the best time to shop for yourself, it's also the best time to shop early for Mother's Day. Don't miss Friends and Family starting tomorrow at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
At -196, we start with whole lemons, nothing wasted. Each one is flash frozen in liquid nitrogen to a jaw-dropping -196 degrees Celsius, locking in the freshest flavor. Then we crush it, not just juice, the entire fruit, turned into fine particles and infused into premium vodka. The result? A crystal clear, bold lemon flavor like nothing you've tasted. -196. Freeze, crush, infuse. The ultimate refreshment. Available now. Please drink responsibly.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Okay, Green Bay, it's your time.
The NFL draft gets underway in Green Bay.
Look at all of these people expecting short of $1 million over the weekend here in Green Bay.
We need to continue to ramp up our sense of urgency.
If they're not better this year, there's going to be a lot of seats warming up.
They've needed receivers in the first round and not done it.
With the 23rd pick.
We were watching the board and just trying to do what's right for the Packers.
In the 2025 NFL Draft.
Great spin by Golden. Man, that was 24-karat Golden.
The 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers.
It was so cool, the energy that the Packer fans got, man. I could just feel it. I'm glad the organization picked me. Guys are coming in and making an impact quicker, and I certainly think Matthew has the opportunity to do that.
For the first time since 2002.
On a night when they announced the pick in Green Bay, what an awesome, awesome moment.
They took Matthew Golden.
Draft a wide receiver.
Welcome to my Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden is a Green Bay Packer.
Love the Packers getting Matthew Golden, a guy they needed.
Touchdown, Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas.
I don't think he's supposed to grab the podium microphone and yell to the fans after he's picked.
Welcome to my Green Bay on 3. 1, 2, 3.
That's how it sounded here in Green Bay last night as the Packers break the 23-year drought of not drafting a wide receiver in the first round. Texas wideout Matthew Golden, the newest member of the Green Bay Packers. He was here in Green Bay. You just heard Jason Wilde in the open. He stole the mic. Pretty awesome moment for Matthew Golden. Now a wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week presented by American Family Insurance. Alex Scribb, Josh Camaggio Jim Rutledge from Jim, Matt, and Molly hanging out with you for another hour or so, live from the Tundra Trio in Green Bay as we prepare for day 2 of the 2025 NFL Draft. Jimmy mentioned it earlier, running back an intriguing position in terms of this year's draft. Really deep group, good group. And the Packers could, in theory, draft a wideout, or excuse me, a running back here on day 2 as Josh Jacobs, not getting younger by any means, and they don't know how sold they are on Marshawn Lloyd, who was a day 2 pick, a round 3 pick last year for the Packers. But Josh, I want to start with you. As you look at day 2 and some of the prospects that are falling, even if it's just positionally, what are you eyeing up for the Packers here on day 2 with 2 picks today?
I am focusing on defensive line here. I do think there is a decent amount of depth here, but the true difference makers at defensive end typically don't come past the first round, and they definitely don't come past the second or third. That is an extremely rare case where they do. I think they need bodies there. They need competition there. They need somebody to push Lucas Van Ness. They need someone to push Rashawn Gary. I do think they do need corner depth as well. I don't know if that means today, but I think prioritizing that defensive front, because you are a little thin at the defensive tackle position. We don't know the future of Devontae Wyatt. Despite Goody saying they want to bring both those guys back, it wouldn't be the first time he misled us on who was going to be with the Packers longer term.
What do you mean? I thought he wanted Aaron Jones.
Yes, he definitely did want it. So to me, it's attack that defensive line, and also be flexible, because there will be some guys that are going to be dropping, some guys that might fall into your lap. And, you know, if you see another wide receiver and you go, well, this guy we have ranked as a top 40 player and he's available to us, who cares? To me, nobody on the Packers right now has a job that I think they should be guaranteed past this season. Like, obviously, there's contracts to keep him there, but Jaden Reed needs to be a lot better. Dontavian Wicks needs to prove he deserves to be on the field, even though he improved in the second half of the season. Like, the Packers are in a spot where they have enough positions and enough places with competition where I say it's best player available, but I am looking at defensive line and corner first.
Yeah, I tend to agree with those two. Specifically edge, right? That was a need we thought they could potentially attack at 23. They went the wide receiver route. They still need somebody who can get after the quarterback, man, because, as Jim, I know you've spent plenty of time on this on your show, and obviously Joshy and I have as well. Lucas Van Ness probably ain't it.
No. And look, Rashawn Gary overdrafted and overpaid right now. Still.
Yeah, I would agree.
Never had a double-digit sack season. And if you're getting paid what you're getting paid and drafted where you need to get drafted, I understand pressures are important, but, like, you got to get home. Jordan Birch, Matt Miller mocked him. Yep. They did a second-round mock. Matt Miller from ESPN has Jordan Birch, a defensive end, 6'4", 279, from Oregon, going to the Packers.
He was one of their top 30 visits as well.
Yeah, so that would make a lot of sense. I think they need, from the outside looking in, like, they need a corner. They got a bunch of guys.
Yep.
But they need help. D-line, you got Clark and Gary in theory. They're close to being like the werewolves, you know. I think Cooper's going to be a star in the middle, so, like, you got that. And you have McKinney. I don't think Jair is going to be playing. So you have Cooper as a ascending star, McKinney a star. You got nothing on the outside. I think you got guys.
Yep.
Your secondary outside of McKinney, and maybe Evan Williams or Buller get better, but, like, outside of McKinney, you got a bunch of guys. Just they could be easily replaced. They're not bad players. They're NFL starters, but, like, to be an elite defense, you need a stud out there on the outside. Then you have a safety. You have Cooper in place. And then to your point, as far as an edge, you do need a stud pass rusher. Maybe Gary finally puts it together. I don't think it's Van Ness. Gary showed more in his first 2 years than Van Ness has.
Van Ness got stoned by tight ends on more than one occasion.
But also, like, I feel like didn't 2 of his sacks one year, like, he had 3 sacks. 2 of them came, like, one game against Justin Fields.
Yeah,
he runs around
chased
like
down, which was impressive.
Yeah,
he had the speed to chase him down, but he's not beating the tackle around the edge to get there.
Last year, didn't he have 2 sacks where nobody blocked him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Rashawn Gary had 2 of those as well.
Yeah. I mean,
well,
you'll take what you can get, I guess. But
Lane Johnson did get out of his stance in the one game.
Right.
That's right.
But, like, Gary's getting paid to take double teams. It's not like he's not getting double-digit sacks because he's getting double-teamed all the time. Like, you at a bare minimum, Gary needs to be, like, accounted for at all times. And to your point, it's more of – and a lot of times, again, any sack against the Bears you could just put on – like, those guys just stand back there and hold it forever. But, I mean – a lot of his sacks felt like not necessarily coverage sacks, but there was time in the pocket. Like, you need Gary, if you're paying him what you're paying him, or Van Ness or someone, immediately. Like, just blow up a defensive end and get to the quarterback way faster than the quarterback was expecting, cause a turnover or cause a sack or do something instead of, like, chasing him down when the quarterback's been holding the ball for 3 or 4 seconds.
How many strip sacks is Rashawn Gary responsible for? Because
I feel
like I remember Clay Matthews doing that a lot, where he was there before, the quarterback hit their back drop, and then they were just getting exploded.
Yeah, just talking about a defensive player of the year level talent.
But Gary got drafted to be that guy and paid to be that guy. So, like, that's
I'm not denying that. He's just not that.
Yeah, we know he's not Clay Matthews, but he should be. That's
right. That's what you drafted him and paid him to do.
You should do it on occasion. You don't have to be Clay Matthews day in and day out. But
can you be Nick Perry? No, I mean, like Nick Perry had one season that Rashawn Gary's never had. But to your point, it just seems like a lot of his sacks are like the quarterback is holding the ball, and Rashawn finally gets there, as opposed to, like, just blow the whole play up.
Blow it all up. Hey, you ready to win some real cash during the basketball playoffs? Check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 posterizes all of the other daily fantasy competition. Hit all your picks and score higher minimum payouts on Pick 6, plus even more cash if you outscore the competition. All you do, it's super simple. Download the Pick 6 app. Look at player projections on their stats for upcoming games. You click more or less. You can build it from 2 picks all the way up to the name, 6 picks. And you can win more cash if you outscore the competition. New players right now on the Pick 6 app get $50 in Pick 6 credits instantly. And all you got to do, $5 entry. Submit $5, you get $50 in Pick 6 credits instantly. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code WKTI. That's code WKTI. For new customers to play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus rewarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. I think it's going to be a day of one corner today, and I think we're going to see 1 or 2 corners drafted tomorrow. I think they're going to approach it similarly to safety like last year they did, Jim, where they kind of just threw spaghetti at the wall and see if it sticks. And it did for at least 2 of those guys at safety last year, Javon Bullard and Evan Williams.
To that point, though, running back is one that they should at least throw, and maybe an undrafted free agent. I wouldn't mind throwing a couple of picks at that because you have one stud. You don't know what you have otherwise. You can't just count on it. And I think D-line could be something they throw some picks at as well. I would imagine they're going to trade back and try to acquire. And I don't love that. I guess I don't know how you guys feel about it. I know sometimes, trading up can, to go get your guy doesn't work. But sitting around, think about all the times Packer fans can point to the guy who was picked just before them.
Totally.
And then the Packers wanted that guy. Well, if you want it, go get him. I hate, these are not – here's how you end up with a bunch of just the guys is that you just kind of wait around none of them are that different. I would love, if I'm a Packer fan, I would love for Goody to have conviction once in a while on a player and be like, no, this player, they're for an example, Will Johnson falls. But I don't care if Will Johnson can't play this year. He could be a elite corner, and I can get him in the second round. I'm going to trade up 4 spots and just get him.
Yeah, I hear
you. Those are the things I think fans would just love a conviction over.
Gabe Neitzel with the nugget of the night yesterday as the Packers' 8 picks that they are scheduled to have right now, obviously one in the book, 7 remaining, would be the least Goody has had in an NFL draft since 2019.
Yeah, and actually I hope he has less. Again, if I'm a Packer fan, just go. This team drives me
They're
insane.
so young, but you only have a few holes.
Well, but they're legit holes. So
Right.
I would say Jacksonville, when they trade up to get Travis Hunter, you're that's kind of dumb because they're not Travis Hunter away. Travis Hunter, when he's really good, it could be 2 or 3 years.
They might feel they're only a Travis Hunter away, but they're not.
Right.
I'm with you.
It does help Trevor Lawrence, so there's that part of it. But otherwise, it's you don't need Chicago. I wanted Genty, but they weren't Genty away from. Now they might be Genty away from the playoffs, but they're not Genty away from the Super Bowl.
Right.
The Packers. And this is what killed Packer fans when Goody's we don't necessarily need a day 1 starter with the first round. Yeah, you do. You need you need the wide receiver. You need another cornerback to be at least in the rotation. You need a rotational defensive lineman at a bare minimum, and you probably need another running back to feel very confident about your depth chart. And I understand how you internally scout, but this is also the same team that internally scouted. So we got 3-4 number 1s next year.
Yeah,
they had none last year.
Have we reckoned with? After seeing what Atlanta did and trading back up into the first and including a first-round pick in doing that. Have we reckoned with – Goody said there was offers. They were on the clock a long time. Have we reckoned with the fact that even though they got a guy they probably didn't expect to be there, and it's still a good value by all estimation, the consensus and all that out there, take that for what it is, but do you think there was an offer on the table for a first-round pick next year and Goody turned it away because it's Green Bay, it's Mark Murphy, they wanted that moment? Like, to me, I can't hold it against them, but that would be bad management of your assets.
We talked about this off the air. Yeah. It's funny. Go ahead, Jim.
My hot take is yes, but they really like Golden too. So it was
like
a 50-50,
That's exactly,
and that was the deciding factor.
And it became a 51-49.
Yes.
Yeah, just a slight.
Yes, I think that's what makes it. If Golden's not there, I think they probably consider it harder because obviously they had this guy in. Yeah. They did the work on him. They went to his pro day. They had him in here. And by all estimations, everyone thought of him as higher value than the 23rd overall pick. So, yes, that does make that interesting.
Coming up next, I want to do a quick what Strofe learned about Joshy, what I have in common with Joshy. As you don't know what we have in common, but we have something in common that
I don't like
that
it.
We will get to coming up next.
I don't like that there's anything.
And then Joshy's going to abandon us at some point, and me and Jim are going to get into the NFC North, what the Bears did yesterday, obviously what the Lions and Vikings did yesterday, and kind of a state of the NFC North. Because Jimmy's always looking at everybody. He's a wise
wandering
football fan.
eyes.
Wandering eyes, not in a bad way.
I watch the Packer, every Packer game, every Bear game. So then I see a lot of Viking games and I see a lot of Lions games.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a lot of division games.
One for pleasure, question mark, and one for work. Is watching the Bears pleasure? Not always.
The fourth quarter, Caleb Williams was usually actually enjoyable.
Okay.
The 3 quarters before that was a lot of fast forward.
Yeah, I also want to hear, we haven't talked in a while, I want to hear where you're at on Caleb Williams because the Bears making a lot of impressive moves this offseason. Offseason champs again, as our producer Will Summers often says about the Chicago Bears.
10 years running.
A quick version of what Strofe learned about Joshy presented by Door County Distillery is coming up next. It's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week presented by American Family Insurance.
We're back with a green and gold talk next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night, presented by American Family Insurance. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
And now, unless there's a big boy trade coming that I don't see on the horizon, Green Bay is going to run this thing back and probably pick up an early round draft pick to add to that room.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And you hope that these other guys will emerge and can add, but I don't see them making a J.R. Ewing type change.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The I-94 rivalry is more than just bragging rights. Get to the ballpark for Brewers-Cubs action May 2nd through the 4th and spend Friday and Saturday night under the lights and help the Crew defend American Family Field and the National League Central Crown.
That's your ball game!
Then pack the park for Sunday matinee baseball at the May 4th series finale and take advantage of the Sunday Fun Day bundle. Get your tickets now at brewers.com.
Biz Expo is May 13th at Brookfield Conference Center. Learn from the experts at the strategy seminars and keynote presentation on resilient leadership. Connect with business leaders and customers at Biz Expo May 13th. Register at biztimes.com/bizexpo.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin, upload a photo to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yes, you heard me correctly. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including a design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Every day is a silent competition, and with testosterone dropping 1% annually, you're fighting an uphill battle. Your colleagues notice when you lose your edge, your partner senses when your confidence wavers, and without addressing low T, you're set up to fail. No willpower can overcome this hormonal deficit. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments have shown a 30% increase in testosterone levels. Don't let low T define you. Reclaim your power at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
A late inning collapse causes the Brewers to lose this series in San Francisco earlier this week.
3-2 pitch. Liner into left, coming in, making the catch. Oh, no! Yelich dropped it, and then he fell down. Koss will score. Yastrzemski had to hold up. He ends up at second base. Yelich had it sized up. Somehow he ended up dropping it at the last second and then fell down.
Now they head into the weekend with a .500 record, taking on the St. Louis Cardinals in their first series in St. Louis of the season.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
My name is Rob, and I was seriously injured. When I think of Gruber Law Offices, I think of an honest, hardworking team who will fight to represent you. Couldn't be happier with the call that I made that day.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Draft season is all about big decisions.
Green Bay is now on the clock.
And your future is no different. Whether you're just getting started, balancing work and life, or coming back to finish your degree, Lakeland University gives you the flexibility to do it your way. Evening, online, and hybrid courses. Credit for work experience. Education that fits your life. Experience it your way. Learn more at lakeland.edu/draft.
Don't miss a second of ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. Download the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app today and stay on top of it all.
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. I'm Alex Ruff alongside Jim Rutledge from Jim, Matt, and Molly, Josh DiMaggio from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We are live at the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field as we get ready for day 2 of the NFL Draft here in Green Bay. I want to do a quick abbreviated version of what we learned, what Strofe learned for Josh DiMaggio before he leaves us here shortly, because he's a really big deal. I don't know if you know that about Josh DiMaggio, Jimmy, but
obviously
he's a big deal these days.
Jim, they gave me a headset yesterday, and I was able to take and direct people around via the headset.
Oh, fun! Yeah,
I was having a good time. Let me tell you.
I bet.
He looked like a buffoon.
What?
I mean, so it's one of those headsets that like directors wear if you go to a play or a musical, so it's only got one ear.
Yeah.
And he's just walking around, and he just does not look like he should be wearing one of those. No offense.
I think you're just jealous.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that's clear jealousy coming out of Alex.
Yeah, you're right.
As somebody who loves to hear their voice, you would love to have people. I was able to tell people, like, hey, I need X to do Y. Yeah. Please go over there, and they would just do it. You would love that.
No,
you would love nothing more.
I would go on a power trip. You're not lying about that. All right, Josh, you and I have something pretty cool in common.
I'm nervous.
You should be. So do we remember a particular Packers player a couple, probably about a month ago at this point, blasted me on their Instagram story?
Tucker Kraft.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our buddy Tucker Kraft.
We might have 3 things in common, so go ahead and share, though.
Okay. Yeah. So he blasted me on his Instagram story for my 3-cone drill, which I think everybody in the world has seen 26 times at this point. And yesterday on his Instagram story, Joshy, he posted a picture of you in the sky on his Instagram story. It's just a picture of you in the sky.
What?
I'm not joking. On Tucker Kraft's Instagram story, we've got it up on the video stream now on ESPN Wisconsin. Here is, I'll show you on my phone, though. There's you, and there's the sky. You're the only face in Tucker Kraft's Instagram story from yesterday.
Huh.
Yeah, so there
I am with my headset.
And Josh has got his dumb big guy headset on.
I got you.
In Tucker Kraft's Instagram story. So you and I have both been posted on Tucker Kraft's Instagram story in the month of April.
Did tell me that that I have good social skills. Because I was able to get him out of a situation where things might have gotten a little awkward.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
No. Okay. I would not like to elaborate, but we all know there's a lot of people here, people talking to people have been drinking, things have been going on, and, obviously Tucker Kraft is the NFL players here, you can see them.
Yeah,
they
they
stick
just
out.
stick out.
He's like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, right, he's a big dude.
They stick out. So I saw him and his wife standing there, and I was like, hey, blah, 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 you want some help? And he said, no, actually, I'm fine, but thank you. Maybe I'll need you in a minute. So me and him, we got a bond. We're buds.
He gave me a lot of crap for being a Bears fan.
Yeah.
We did our thing, so yeah. And again, I accidentally called him from Idaho, South Dakota, but same difference.
I mean, I tend to agree with you on that. I understand if you're from there, right?
Yeah,
That's like
yeah.
saying I'm from Illinois and I would get offended.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if the Idaho-South Dakota rivalry
But
is
it'd be like
quite as
if you're
big.
like on the Wisconsin-Minnesota border, it's like the same difference.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty
what,
much.
what are we doing?
I like this you're doubling down on your mistake.
I mean, I'm owning it. It's my mistake.
You're owning it in your way.
Yeah.
Very Rutledge way to go about this.
Yeah, no, I'm owning it.
I may have been wrong, but I wasn't that wrong.
The more wrong part was playing the Jared Allen clip who said, I don't know who Tucker Kraft is.
Yeah.
Jared Allen, Hall of Famer from Idaho. I was trying to make that connect. I got a little too cute.
Jared Allen doesn't strike me as a guy who's super locked into the NFL anymore. He seems like worldly.
Who's this?
Obviously, Jared Allen.
Oh, sure.
He's competitive in curling now. He's a big hunter. Like, I can't imagine he's like, I cannot go out this Sunday. There's a game on.
Right.
He seems like he's got other stuff going on.
Yeah, right.
Like, and he knows probably most
Oh,
of
no.
Oh,
Ben
no.
Brust posing in front of us, slipped in mud. He's got mud on his ass. He's got mud on his hat. He's got mud on his hands.
What happened to your hat? Did you hit your face?
How did it get on?
It's like he, like when
Right there?
I was saying when the Bears beat the 49ers 2 years ago in that rainstorm, that's what it looks like Ben Brust.
Yeah, it looks like Ben Brust just got playing a muddy football
Yeah,
game.
just like, and then decided to go for a big slide.
Hopefully he's got more clothes here.
He yells, I don't. And the best part
horrible.
is, he doesn't wear underwear.
Oh,
so the mud is leaking through his pants onto his bare ass.
No, no.
Oh, that is terrific. That is what you can expect if you're coming to Green Bay for day 2 of draft.
Unbelievable.
I'll be
NFL
honest,
draft
I'd
at
just
Green
go
Bay.
home. I'd be like, I'm
Yeah.
out. I'm wet, and I don't have underwear on, and I'm done.
I'm
It's
cold,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm out.
Unbelievable. That's a good look for. He's got stuff to do on stage today.
See, you want to know what the bad part about this, too, is? This is perfect for Ben Brust because then he gets to show everybody, hey, look at me. I got mud all over me. Hey, it's going to be a great icebreaker for people he sees. He's going to repeat the story 50,000 times now.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
As much as we would be miserable, he said that's a win for Ben Brust,
Yes.
being covered in mud.
Yeah, absolutely. If that doesn't describe his personality, I don't know what does.
Nugget on YouTube says, that's impressive, but Ben will play it off.
Yeah.
Yep, he sure will. He sure will. All right, Joshy, go be a big shot.
Thank you.
We will be joined by Ike Winter, the local wood artist, who
There he
designed
is, yeah.
a bunch of the logos, all 32 of the logos in the draft hallway. Milwaukee guy. We will be joined by Ike Winter. Coming up next, it's ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance.
We're back after this on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Transforming your land with a John Deere compact tractor is as easy as connect, latch, load, haul, spread. Cutting grass is as simple as roll, click, mow. Box blading is as effortless as hook, lock, grade. And backhoeing is as convenient as turn around, switch, dig. Because when you've got the versatility to tackle just about any job and dealer support in your own backyard, you just have to get in the seat. Find the right compact tractor for you at johndeere.com.
Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill, and it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitboss-grills.com.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Get everything you need for your flooring project at Menards. MS International has a great selection of flooring to help you update your home. From beautiful ceramic tile to luxury vinyl plank and laminate floors that resemble real wood. Get the floor of your dreams at Menards. Stop in today and check out all our flooring options and check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, carbless mango vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4 packs of the new carbless mango vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
Don't miss a second of ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. Download the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app today and stay on top of it all.
Yeah, ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance, with you right here. ESPN Wisconsin, the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison. On YouTube, I'm Alex Strofe alongside my guy, reunited, and it feels so good with Jim Rutledge and Jim, Matt, and Molly on ESPN Madison, weekdays from 4 to 6, typically. Sorry we're kicking you off this week.
Yeah, well, I blame Jesse Nelson. We're
Okay.
the only show that didn't get the band together for it, but I got to be with you, so it works out.
It's a reunion of
It
sorts
is, yes.
between the two of us. And joining us now, live from the Tundra Trio in Green Bay, just outside of Lambeau Field. If you don't know who he is, you've seen his work, especially last night as Travis Hunter interacts with it as the number 2 overall pick, and then 7 players afterward interact with his art that is hanging in the draft hallway as draftees walk onto the NFL draft stage. His name is Ike Winter. He is a recycled wood artist. Is that the right way to put that, Ike?
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
And you are obviously a Milwaukee native. You've done a ton of cool pieces. Many people may remember you from the piece you gifted to Robin Yount last Brewers season. This is crazy, though.
This is crazy.
32 pieces.
Yep.
And how many hours again?
700 hours in 64 days.
How?
I had to. When the NFL says, can you do it, you say yes, and you figure it out.
So how did that conversation begin? When did it begin? How did we get to where we are today as we enter day 2 of the draft?
Right at the end of the year, December 28th, I got an email in my inbox, and it was just, hey, we're the NFL's creative team. We have an idea for you and your art specifically. So they kind of had this concept or a few concepts in mind, and we just kind of explored it. Right from the get-go, they were just like, do you work with color? And I'm like, I do, but not this many pieces. You know, every piece of wood I find has to come from the side of the road, and I'm only allowed to use the color I find. So it was a challenge of, can we reimagine every team's logo with just neutral tones, like light brown to dark brown? And we kind of worked as a creative team together, reimagined all 32, and Valentine's Day was the day I was allowed to start building. Yeah.
And here we are on day 2 of draft night. Everything was a success. Nothing fell off the wall, right?
Dude, the draftees interacting with the art was unbeknownst to us, and it kind of turned into a theme of the night, which I was standing next to the NFL creative team, and they were eating it up. There's like, we're never going to be allowed to have flat art again on our projects. Like, this 3D art concept of it popping off the wall is like the new thing, apparently, and it's because of me and my art, so...
So you mentioned you can only pick things up from the side of the road, right? You're a recycled wood artist.
Yep.
What is the strangest thing you've pulled a piece of wood from?
Ooh, that's a good question. I do like trunks and chests. Like I like 40s and 50s wood from people's basements. So like old dudes' hardware rooms. Like if they have a trunk full of wood or something. I don't know. It's the weirdest
Jim,
thing.
you got
too.
anything you're trying to get rid of?
Yeah.
I'm not that old. I don't have a trunk full of wood.
No
No.
trunks?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I have a toboggan in my shop right now from
Really?
like the 30s that I'm waiting to use on a project. So like it's the weirdest things. Yeah.
So obviously, like, this is a project where you're given an idea, you're told to kind of run with the idea, right? You have a vision of what this idea is. But a lot of the stuff you do, like, day in, day out, is you're just coming up with stuff, right? You have a vision, you have an idea, right?
Yeah, I have like a list on my phone of like 200 concepts that I want to tackle. And then there are these projects that come up. I rarely do commissions or custom work. But when the NFL emails you, you gotta.
That's a hard one to say no
Yeah.
to.
So most of it is like my own ideas. It always branches around nostalgia and nostalgia-based stuff. So like the Bucks piece was the '90s logo, and then like mental health awareness. I always try to do a tie-in with like promoting mental health awareness as well as doing nostalgia. So
very cool.
With the teams, was there one or two that were like extra hard trying to put together?
I would stray away from the word hard.
Okay.
I like the more challenging ones.
Okay.
Normally I spend hundreds of hours on my art, so only getting to spend like 20 hours per piece was a challenge for me.
Yeah.
The Jaguars, the Buccaneers, and the Browns actually. You would think
Really?
you would think the Browns is simple, but like a helmet with all the illustration lines, it was actually the hardest piece of wood to cut for this entire project. The Browns helmet.
Huh.
Yeah.
That would have not been my
No.
guess. I would have guessed like Raiders.
Raiders was my top 3 favorite, and it was actually cool because the Raiders is the only logo that's normally black and white in the NFL. So we actually like added color to that piece, as everywhere else we took away color. The Jaguars was my favorite, and that's the one that's getting kind of the most airtime right now with Travis Hunter just slapping it.
Thank God they traded up.
I know, right? So, the Jaguars being cool. The Buccaneers was another favorite. I don't even know. I was paying attention a bit during the Buccaneers, but I don't think he was here when he got drafted.
Gotcha.
So,
Spending a couple more minutes with Ike Winter, who designed all those badass wood logos you see in the draft tunnel. From Milwaukee, local artist, got to make all 32 in 700 hours. What time do you typically go to bed, or is that not like a consistent thing for you?
This week is completely different from what I'm going to do next week. This project I was going to bed at like 6 or 7 a.m., sometimes 8 a.m.
How do you sleep when it's bright out?
Just, I don't.
Is that a dumb question?
You work long enough
People
where you're
work
ready.
Shifts, so
You work long enough where you're ready to go to bed at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
It was like I was sleeping like 8 till 1. I don't know. Just that midnight oil for me is like 5 a.m. oil type thing. So this project, it was, and also too, I'd be like mid-Jaguars piece, and I was like, I just want to finish it, but it's a few more hours, but I tell myself it's like 20 more minutes. So I just like commit to doing each piece.
I mean this is a compliment. You're a certified crazy person.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I use the word delusional
Your manager
optimist.
is shaking her head, just so you know.
Yeah, delusional optimist, yeah.
So how did you kind of get started in all this?
So my family had a junk removal company. So we were cleaning out people's homes. It still operates today. I left the business, but while we were cleaning out people's homes, we had a very eco-friendly approach to our process. So all the metals we were recycling, all the furniture we were trying to donate, the clothes donate, trying to repurpose everything instead of throwing it in the landfill. And wood is always the one thing that is getting tossed. You can't recycle it. There's nowhere to really go to recycle wood. If the furniture has enough scratches and dings and dents, and especially now, like, places don't take entertainment centers. We all have flat screens on the wall. So, like, entertainment centers are my bread and butter because nobody can repurpose them. They're on the curb every day. It truly was spawned out of curiosity. I was just like, there has to be a better way to use this wood and do something with it creatively. It was never to make money. It was never to do a career. It was just like I was bored, and I was running a 20-person company. Like, that's how bored I was. Like, it just started out of curiosity, and utilizing my time and seeing where this stuff could go.
How often are you driving around looking for furniture on a curb?
I mean, I have to drive to my studio every day, so I got my spots that
you have routes where you're like, okay, I know people are moving out. I see it for sale.
Right. Now it's to the point because of the social media following, and especially with this project, people are like, hey, I have this dresser, and I get that message 10 times a day now. So I'm able to be more selective and actually like go to people's houses.
That's great.
I'm not here to destroy good usable furniture. Like I'm just like, hey, are you willing to part with it? You know, usually there's like, it's in my basement, it's falling apart, like take it. So, it's I don't say it's getting easier now, but like there's a different methodology to it a little bit.
Last thing for Ike Winter here on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. What's next? Sleep?
No. I mean, enjoy the draft today. Wake up tomorrow and enjoy the draft tomorrow. I'm a very day-by-day person. I know what I'm going to build Sunday night when I get back to my shop. But
and that is, or are you not going to tell us?
You know those blocks that you play with as a kid that just have like the giant A, like a blue A on
it?
Yeah. I haven't told anyone this yet, so you guys are getting the exclusive. I'm going to take those blocks and build it like 2.5 by 2.5 and stack 3 of them. It's going to say MKE, but like in a fun, playful manner.
Oh, cool.
Nice, yeah. So there's not a place it's going to live yet. I don't really know. I have some spots in mind I would like for it to be, but I have to talk to those people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like my Sunday night project, and that's like a personal thing. I just want to do that project and see it come to life.
I can think of a few places that would look good in.
Well, you give me your list. I'll tell you my list, and we'll combine.
We'll combine. Ike Winter, you can visit his website, Ike Winter, that's with a Y, not an I, WYNTER.com, IkeWinter.com. You have some pieces for sale on that website, as well as your whole story, your whole background, and everything you've been up to. Ike, congratulations, man. This is really cool, really unique, really happy for you, and appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day to hang out with us.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
We wrap up ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week. This is the final show of said Draft Week.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least from 12 to 2.
Gotcha.
We still have draft coverage coming up the next couple days. But the final 12 to 2 edition during the week, Jim Rutledge and I take a look at the NFC North and his Bears, who still suck, by the way, Jimmy. ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week rolls on after this.
More coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
And now, unless there's a big boy trade coming that I don't see on the horizon, Green Bay is going to run this thing back and probably pick up an early round draft pick to add to that room.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And you hope that these other guys will emerge and can add, but I don't see them making a J.R. Ewing type change.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. I have a question for you business owners. How do your books look? Are they ready for your tax return to be prepared? Did you and your accountant talk during the year and develop a plan to minimize your tax bill? Or does this sound like you? You can never get a hold of your CPA. Phone calls are not returned and questions are never answered. Your books are a mess and the bank account hasn't been reconciled since last year. You don't get any advice to help you run your business. That's not the case with the Neal Group. We are advocates and partners with our clients to help them grow. We like to work with you throughout the year to keep your books up to date so you run your business profitably. Are you ready to grow your business, improve cash flow, have less stress, and live a better life? We can help. Call us at 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net to book a meeting and see if we can help. The first meeting is free. Don't wait, do it now. That's 414-325-2040 or nealgroup.net.
as clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's Dame time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin, upload a photo to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yes, you heard me correctly. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including a design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
I gotta give credit where credit is due. To our producer back at the Gruber Lofts, Will Summers, who is a Bears fan, for playing that clip willingly. Well done, Will. Jim Rutledge, Alex Stroke with you here on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, which is presented by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. So the Bears at pick 10 take the tight end from Michigan, Colston Loveland. To help elevate Caleb Williams. Obviously, this offseason, 3 offensive linemen new to Chicago. New head coach, offensive-minded head coach in Chicago. Now, you've been through this enough times where you were very honest and upfront, right? The off-season champions. But I imagine optimism is blooming in the mind of Jim Rutledge when it comes to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, and I'll give you a couple reasons why. One, the Bears have never hired a guy like Ben Johnson. They hired Matt Nagy, would be the closest, but Matt Nagy never called plays. The fact that Ben Johnson, an offensive mind, was pursued by multiple teams, wanted by multiple teams. He basically chose Chicago over the other ones. But then also he's called plays for the number one offense 2 years in a row. I think he's called plays for 3 years. And then the staff he brought in. The Bears have never had a staff like this. You got Dennis Allen, defensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, running backs coach. A lot of guys who have coached in the NFL at these positions. They know what they're doing. The Bears have always struggled with hiring and spending money on the coaches. They did that this year. Offensive line. Struggle. They spent the money on it. So there is a different way that they've spent their money and won the offseason than in other years, which gives me more optimism. It's all hope. But last year, I'll put it like this. Matty Eberflus, I believe, was like 5-19 as the Bears head coach in one-score games. That is, that was like the worst in all of sports, not just in football. It was the worst in one-score games as far as a winning percentage. So just going from incompetent to competent would be a massive step up for the Bears. So I do believe they have a roster. Last year, I thought their ceiling was 9 wins. I think looking at them, first-year head coach, going back to that, not a ceiling for 9 wins, but I think that 7 to 9 win window for the Bears, be above 500, at least be in the playoff picture at the end of the year is kind of a fair goal for year one.
I think so, too. Just given the pieces they have in place. Now, it's ultimately really going to boil down. We had this similar conversation with Jordan Love earlier in the show. If Caleb is the guy, right, the former number 1 overall pick, last year's number 1 overall pick, if Caleb Williams is the quarterback that many think he can be, this should be a playoff team.
Yes, and the only thing that would hold that back would be the division. It's a tough division.
It's a really tough division.
And so, could they be a 9-win team that misses the playoffs? Yeah. But with Caleb Williams, what the Bears did this year is because last year, you can have talented players, and if they don't have good coaching, there's only so far they can go. Look at his numbers. His numbers were there. They're a little bit of inflated, but also fourth quarter numbers were great. They could have had more wins. He had comebacks against Washington, Minnesota, Green Bay twice, and there was another game in there too. They could have had more wins. He could have had more of that Mr. Fourth Quarter comeback. His fourth quarter numbers are actually really good. But the rest of the game was very up and down. Matt Eberflus, obviously a terrible coach, 3 offensive coordinators in 1 season for Caleb Williams.
Crazy.
That, like, you now all of a sudden look at it and say, all right, you bring in one of the best offensive minds who knows how to maximize. And Jared Goff was kind of a castaway. We had someone on who takes reclaimed wood and makes art out of it. That's what Ben Johnson did with Jared Goff. Well, now he gets this pristine piece of mahogany that he gets to carve out with Caleb Williams. And I'm optimistic that Caleb's going to make a big jump. What that puts him at next year, I don't know. But the Bears, I think, are set to make a big jump and look like a more competent football team and stop being an embarrassment on national TV.
There are a few things as satisfying as landing an analogy on the fly, which you just did with mahogany.
Right. Yeah. That mahogany was the last bit. Yeah, that was like, where am I going with this? But I was able to pull that out. Who knows, like, high quality wood?
I don't.
But
mahogany. Is oak high quality?
I don't know.
Hunter gave me the so-so hand.
Yeah.
So, do you know wood, Hunter? Are you a big? You know a lot about wood? Okay, interesting.
Mahogany. Everyone knows mahogany is good.
Mahogany is the best.
It looks like Ben Bruss has mahogany all over his pants.
Yes.
I want a towel.
You don't have any other clothes? In case you missed it, Ben Brust is coming up next. Kyle Brust and Nortman slipped in a puddle of mud. There was mud on his hat, on his butt, on his jacket.
Looks like he's wearing thin pants, too.
Because he's not wearing underwear.
Right, but I mean, like, when you have thin pants, like I wear pants like that, too, like the dress pants that's a little thin.
Yeah,
it's not
golf
even traditional.
pants.
Golf pants. And I know he's notorious for that, which they are comfortable and they look nice, but they're cold to begin with.
Yeah, they sure are. Just elsewhere in the division, last night in round 1 of the NFL draft. So, as we know, the Packers at pick 23 took Matthew Golden. The very next pick at 24, the Vikings took an offensive guard out of Ohio State. That's Donovan Jackson. And at pick 28 out of Ohio State as well, the defensive tackle Tyleik Williams heads to Detroit. So, as we stand entering day 2 of the NFL draft, I would imagine we agree it's probably Detroit number 1 in the NFC North. Yeah. And then it's kind of hard to figure out from there.
I would probably, honestly, because of the step back, we don't know what McCarthy will be.
Right. I'd probably go Green Bay.
Yeah, you'd have to put Green Bay. Then it's a matter of Chicago and Minnesota battling it out to, like, are they going to make a big jump? And Green Bay could, like, again, Jordan Love was the same player last year he was the year before. They finished 7th seed again. Like, Green Bay could just be capped. Ben Johnson's a wild card here. If Ben Johnson is the next Shanahan or McVay or O'Connell, then the Bears are going to be a problem for everyone in the North. That still could, I think it would just bring down everyone else. I don't think you're going to have Detroit so much higher than everyone else. I feel like, because, again, you have the brain drain. You lose Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn from Detroit.
And I was just about to bring that up, right? There's another Ben Johnson effect here at play, and that's, of course, Detroit losing both their offensive and defensive coordinator. The last team that went through that, started the season really hot. Philadelphia 2 years ago, and then lost 6 of their last 7 games, including the wild card round. So you just never really know what kind of effect that'll have on a team that's been really good for several seasons.
The one thing that's interesting to me is that Detroit, now The Athletic broke this down, Detroit, their GM was voted, Detroit over the last 5 years voted to have the best draft track record over the last 5 years by The Athletic. Then it came Chicago, then Green Bay, then Minnesota. And Minnesota's was very much up in the air of, like, what does J.J. McCarthy become? But Goody was like 19th, and Sports Illustrated said the Packers have not been great at drafting. So that's the one thing for me with the Packers. This year's draft, I know they've had more recent ones with better players, but they really need to hit, because what hurt them was lack of Pro Bowlers. Chicago has two Pro Bowl seasons out of their draft picks over the last couple of years. Detroit had like 10.
Yeah.
I mean, look at some of Detroit's drafts, and like that to me, for the entire NFC North, Detroit still scares me because the way they draft. And then Dan Campbell, the one thing why you'd believe he could hire replacements for coaches is he's a culture guy. Mm-hmm. And if he was smart enough to hire Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn the first time, you got to give him the pass to be like, okay, the next time maybe he's able to hire those guys too. And identify coaching talent as well.
Definitely, yeah. No, I think it's going to be another really fun year in this division because, as you mentioned, right, last year, obviously, 3 teams in the postseason, 3 teams with double-digit win totals. I think we're in for more of the same. I mean, Detroit's interesting because, as I pointed out, right, losing both coordinators. Green Bay, I mean, 11-6 is a pretty darn good record. It was only good for the 7 seed last year.
Yeah. Well, they were 1 in. Like, Chicago and Green Bay had the same record in the NFC North.
1-5.
And I broke down the numbers for what it's worth. Caleb Williams outperformed Jordan Love against NFC North opponents.
You love this stuff, man.
But he did, by a landslide. Higher completion percentage, better turnover, touchdown interception ratio, more passing yards. And they both were 1-6. And so the NFC North, when they play each other, is closer than it's been ever.
Yeah. I mean, it is, and that's what makes it fun. Like, as just a pure football fan, I enjoy the hell out of it, right? I'd rather watch this than what we watched for, 15 years, the Packers and a bunch of duds.
Well, and again, I have to assume that the block field goal attempt of Cairo Santos had to feel better than most wins for Packer fans.
Oh, yeah, because it didn't feel like you were going to win, right? You just kind of accepted the fate. Oh, they're going to chip this in. You're going to lose the Bears. Right. You still haven't won a division
But it was a competitive game.
Yeah.
And, you needed that win for playoff stuff, but, that side of it, and then obviously the pain. But when you have that, to Jason Wilde is always rooting for Caleb to be better or have that jump, because you then have all of a sudden that rivalry.
Yes.
And I think we're going to have that with every team in NFC North. I think you're going to have the top team at 12 and the bottom team at 7, if the math works on that. I don't know, but 7 or 8 at the bottom and 12 at the top. I don't think you're going to see teams with the 13.
I think the math can work no matter what. It just means other teams in other divisions are going to be much worse, which could very realistically happen, right? The NFC South stinks for the most part. No faith in Atlanta, no faith. Tampa's pretty solid, but no faith in New Orleans. I still, even with adding Ted McMillan yesterday, I don't have faith in Carolina.
No, all those teams are.
NFC West is always a crapshoot. Like, you never really know what to expect out of them.
San Francisco, you never can write off.
Never.
Can't.
Not with Shanahan.
And in Seattle, I like their coach from Baltimore.
Mike McDonald.
Yeah, I think he's a good coach. And then Arizona's the one where I don't believe in. They seem to be very volatile.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think they are. Yeah, I don't know. I like Kyler Murray, but also I don't trust Kyler Murray. Does that make sense at all?
Well, then you go to the East, Commanders.
Philly, obviously good. Commanders
yes.
look like they're going to be good.
I feel like the Commanders, it's not impossible that Jane Daniels is C.J. Stroud, where, what you saw is what you got, because he's an older player.
Yep.
When he got there, he hit the ground running. There might not be, as we talked about with Jordan Love, we always just assume a level jump.
Yeah, I agree.
The level jump might just be too very good. And Jane Daniels already there. And maybe that's just where he lives, and he'll get marginally better year over year. Jordan Love still got better in the margins last year. You just couldn't see it in the stats.
If the Packers make 2 picks today, I want a corner and an edge rusher. If the Bears make 2 picks today, you want what?
Running back and then either O or D.
Okay. Trenches and a running back. Yep. That would be a good draft for Bears.
Yes.
If they follow that recipe.
Well, they actually have 3 picks.
Oh.
They got 2 second rounders and a third.
So they go defensive line, offensive line, and running back?
I think that'd be ideal. Yeah.
Okay. I like it. Jimmy, always fun hanging out with you, man. It's been too long. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week is presented by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Coming up next, live from the Tundra Trio in Green Bay, ahead of day 2 of the NFL Draft. It's my guys, Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust, Brad Norton. Actually, no, Brad Norton. Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust. It's Kyle and Brust coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin.